Welcome to the 9642 podcast. This is your host, Mr. Number 9.
And this is The Fool.
Uh, okay, welcome everyone. We're just still figuring a lot of the technical stuff out. And also, there's a good chance we will not get to see a single over of cricket bowled today.
Yeah, it's looking very much that way.
Yeah. So,
But I see tomorrow's a bit better forecast.
fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
So, the teams have been whittled down to their 15s, and like what many people were thinking, I think New Zealand's big changes, they've dropped Mitchell Santner and brought in Ajaz Patel. I think you and I were talking about this.
Yes.
And I
It would be
think
in
both of us
today's
like this
podcast.
change.
Yes, it's a very good podcast. Very good change. As saying, we recorded our podcast last week, but it would have gone live today.
Yep.
But that's where we were talking about it. And yeah, I think India, and I have to go have a look. Pretty sure India have named the 11 as well.
Have they?
Yeah, New Zealand was waiting, but listening to an interview with Gary Stead this morning, it sounded very much like, with the rain around and the wet, that Ajaz Patel may not actually get picked in the final 11. They'd just go with all seamers. He didn't confirm it, but he was talking about how green the wicket was, the weather, the lack of heat, and the formula that had got New Zealand so far and wanting to stick with it. And so that was generally a pace attack. So
Yeah. So India have, and there was a little bit of speculation about this. They have gone with 3 seamers and 2 spinners in their lineup. Also, I like this. I like it. I personally think it's a different case with New Zealand. Ajaz Patel is still, he's still establishing his Test career.
yeah,
Whereas Ravi Chandra Ashwin is probably the second best off spinner to have ever existed.
yeah,
And Jadeja is probably the best all-rounder in the world
yes,
at the moment. And I think with Jadeja, you're almost guaranteeing that you're going to get a wicket with him from his fielding, at least one, if not 2 or 3.
yeah.
He'll pull off like an amazing catch or like a great run out that only he could do.
Yeah, exactly.
So I really like that. I think the batters, really for India, they kind of picked themselves. You're gonna get the Shubhaman Gill open with Rohit Sharma, with the new wall, Cheteshwar Pujara at number 3, with Virat Kohli at number 4, and Ajinkya Rahane at number 5. That's pretty strong batting lineup, your top order.
Yes,
and
it's very strong.
Rishabh Pant coming in at number 6, really that, and Ravindra Jadeja coming in at number 7. That's a very strong batting lineup.
It's super strong. But yeah, and that's part of why India's here, right? So it's always going to be hard for them, and it is a formidable batting lineup.
Yeah.
It's just,
And the did they name which pacers were making it? I'm assuming Bumrah is being picked because he's Bumrah.
Yes, they did have it somewhere. I was where was it?
Because I think 5 specialist bats are the way to go in this match. Because both sides, I think, have a very decent wicket keeper who can bat at number 6. Obviously, I think India, Rishabh Pant is a better keeper, a better batter. But I think BJ Watling is a better wicket keeper, and I think it's been shown statistically. New Zealand's slip cordon and behind the wicket have been really strong in the Test World Championship. getting their catches. So that's where I think the fielding is a bit even. India have like your game breakers, like your Ravindra Jadejas, who can get wickets on the field, and New Zealand have a really strong slip cordon and just, everybody's solid.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Where was it? Oh, here, paces for India. Paces Mohammad Siraj, Umesh Yadav. These are the ones that missed out. Siraj and Yadav missed out, so they've got
Okay. Mohammad
Ishant
Siraj.
Sharmi and Bumrah for their pace.
Okay. So basically the two senior bowlers, Ishant Sharma and Mohammad Shami, were
Mm,
picked. Mohammad Siraj, I think, is a bit unlucky to miss out. I think
yeah,
because he's a
yeah,
swing bowler.
yeah. I would have
There
thought he
was a
got
bit
picked too.
of there was a bit of talk that he might be the guy who takes the first change, and because in the Duke balls, as in England and New Zealand have found, it only starts to swing after about 8 overs because that's when the lacquer starts coming off.
Yeah, yeah. It's because your
And
name is Jimmy Anderson.
yes, basically.
Yeah,
And if he was coming in at first change, Bumrah can bowl at any time, and Bumrah is a pretty
yeah.
good first change bowler too. So they're not losing anything, I think, with Ishant Sharma or Mohammad Shami opening the bowling.
No, no.
I With New Zealand, I think this is the thing, right? Do they go with I'm a bit worried if they don't go with the spinner because Southampton does take turn
Yeah, yeah.
after the third day and generally might take some turn even before then. And I think good spin bowlers don't really need the pitch.
No.
The Because the I think the value Ajaz Patel has shown is that he's very good at holding up the end and putting pressure on the batsman while the pace bowlers are taking a break, and then they come in and basically finish the job off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which I don't think Colin de Grandhomme or Daryl Mitchell will do with their bowling. I think if you're bowling someone like Daryl Mitchell, who then the batters are basically they're gonna get recharged, and then the bowlers will be,
Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
the pace bowlers come back on, they're gonna have a tough time. Um, it also puts a lot of pressure on Neil Wagner because he's the guy who gets the wickets in the middle of the over before the ball starts to reverse.
Yeah, exactly. So I agree with you. I think taking the spinner is a better option. I think they
Yeah,
just may be tempted given the weather for conditions. And I'm going to go paste an image in Discord chat of the Black Caps lounging, and the weather does not look particularly good.
yeah,
That is
that does not.
so I think sounding from what Gary said, sound like that was going to be the main consideration was whether they felt it was going to be seam bowler friendly enough to take all the
I mean, I don't mind if they take another seam bowler. Don't get me wrong. Like, I
yeah.
think if they were to take Matt Henry, for example, I can dig it. It's
Mm,
not one I agree with, but I go, yeah, that's because that's at least another bowler.
yeah, yeah. No, I think it will be Colin Durham and Jameson, then the Wagner. So take the two all rounders as
Yeah,
opposed to. Though Matt Henry could be a good one as well because he's almost an all rounder anyway. Like his batting's pretty good.
yeah, and as is Kyle
Well,
Jameson.
yeah, well, Kyle Jameson's actually an all rounder. He's just they haven't been playing him as that more to let him get blooded into Test cricket more than
Yeah,
anything. Like clearly, Jameson will be an an all rounder pick going forward. I think they're just trying not to put too much pressure on him to start with to have to get runs and wickets. Like let him settle into the team and then start picking him as an all rounder and expect both from him.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's his career. Oh, I mean, I kind of get it. He's a big guy. We don't want him to go the Jacob Oram route, picking up injuries because he's big and It's just we just know that these things now with analytics that the bigger you are, the more things that can go wrong in your bowling action.
Yeah, exactly.
But that I think that in a way, like help making him also bat kind of extends that his career maybe as a cricketer.
Yeah. Well, gives him something else, I guess, as well,
Yeah.
that he can, as he goes on, he can and doesn't have to rely on his bowling. He's got his batting in
Yeah.
as well. Like it's you can do both, and you can rest him both ways. Then, in that he can still be in the team and just reduce the overs for bowling, or play an extra batter or another batting all rounder above him and push him down so he doesn't have to. His batting contribution is not important.
So we have a request to speak from Nyquist.
Oh yeah, is he on there? Are we ready to bring in
Discord?
Are we ready to bring in a? Oh, there he is. Are we ready to bring in an invite?
We are.
We are. Is this an appropriate part of the thing? Let's invite old Niquist. I think if I click on that, is that?
Yeah.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
Nyquist. How are you doing?
How's it going,
podcast?
Good.
You good?
So, but I've been listening to what you guys have been saying. A couple of things that caught my attention is just how wet the pitch is going to be down in Southampton.
Yeah.
And it's just going to require quite a lot of adjustment from certainly the New Zealand side, but also the Indian side, because they expect the pitch to be waterlogged. The rain yesterday, because I'm up in London, was so heavy that it sort of just covered. It raised pools of water. So who do you reckon they're going to change their? If whoever wins first is going to have to adapt to the pitch very fast.
Yeah.
Who do you reckon? What do you reckon the batting lineup's going to look like if it's for either side?
Yeah,
they go
India's already named their 11. So as we were saying, India's batting lineup picks itself. There's no question in my mind that you pick Pujara, you pick Kohli, and you pick Jinkar Rahane. And the current two openers, that's probably the biggest question mark, because Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill have never opened in England.
All right.
In any form of cricket, I don't think.
Wow. So yeah, that's going to be interesting for them as well. Then they haven't opened in England before together.
It's a very deep batting lineup India have, all the way with, like I said, Ravi Ashwin batting at 8.
Yeah, that's a long batting tail there.
So, and I think we know what Cheteshwar Pujara is capable of doing with the bat.
Yeah, exactly.
The new wall, as we say.
Yeah. What do you reckon New Zealand's going to be like then?
New Zealand, I think if Devon Conway had less experience in England, we'd be a bit more worried. But he played pretty well against both Broad and Anderson last week. So I think he's adapted to Test cricket pretty well. It's a different ask to go against India because those two are really good bowlers, but Bumrah just brings something different to the table.
Yeah.
And it's like if you haven't played a player like him before, just having that sidearm sling action can be difficult to deal with. But I don't think Bumrah's going to open based on their what they're doing with their bowling lineup. I think they're going to open with Mohammad Shami and Ishant Sharma. The old veteran Ishant Sharma.
Yes, because 30 years old in the cricket teams these days.
Yeah.
Is he 30 yet?
I think Ishant Sharma might be 32, 33.
Right, yeah.
Easy enough to find out.
There's advantages to having a young team, because India has certainly been growing from strength to strength. New Zealand's at the top of its game right now, though.
Yeah, so 32 years old, exactly. Born in 1988.
Yeah.
So
nearly 33.
Makes me feel like an old man.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
three oldies.
There's Bumrah and Shami are like, they're that's a very good main three for India, and I wouldn't have messed with it myself. I was only wondering whether they would take in a Mohammad Siraj instead of one of the spinners, but they decided not to, and as we mentioned earlier, me and Adam agreed that was the better idea from India.
So who's the 12th man then? Have they got a little bit of bowling if they need to swap out the deep batting lineup?
Well, you've got 15 players because you are allowed to substitute people in for concussion protocol now.
Yeah.
So they usually pick batters as your 12th man because if you have a batsman come out with a concussion, you want to replace them with another bat. So I think Vihari will be there, and I think they might pick a couple more bowlers. Well, they've got Siraj and Udav in there, and I don't know who else they have in that squad that would come in if they did have to use a concussion protocol, which I hope doesn't happen because that would be pretty crap for that player. Yeah, the Rhythm Saha. So yeah, that's obviously you need the backup keeper in there in case something happens to the keeper to punt.
Yeah. It's interesting that there's not a lot of pace bowling in either side this time around.
I think the two best pace bowling lineups in the world. And with all due respect to Pat Cummins in Australia and Kagiso Rabada in South Africa, like I think as a team, the three in India, Shami, Sharma, and Bumrah, and your three lions in New Zealand with Saudi, Bolt, and Neil Wagner are the three best. Like they're basically the two best bowling lineups. And I think it's also reflected with, how basically I think all 6 of those players are in the top 10 test bowlers in the world at the moment.
Wow, didn't know that.
And New Zealand apparently have never lost a test match with the Golden Four, with those 3 plus Carl Jamieson.
Yeah, well, that's only this year in New Zealand, so it's...
Yeah, and last year against India and New Zealand, which was where Carl Jamieson kind of like announced himself onto the Test cricket scene. As like.
That was pretty epic.
I think basically India are probably the best Test playing side in the world.
Yeah.
At the moment, and they've proven it by winning away from home really well. Especially in Australia, but I think New Zealand have the side that are basically it's the rock. If it's a rock paper scissors thing, New Zealand is like the scissors to India's paper, because I think like in that top order, like Tom Latham, Kane Williamson, and Ross Taylor are all very good against spin bowling, and they have decent records in India and against India. Especially in these sort of conditions, and you've got the bowling lineup who have also done well against India, especially Carl Jamieson.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I have to say I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to going down to the 4th day, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I was going to get down to Southampton on Monday.
I think it's meant to be reasonably fine on Monday for Southampton.
Yeah, it's
like tomorrow and Monday, is it? As I remember?
Yeah.
Not much for the other days. The other days are all going to be horrible. Maybe day 6.
Yeah.
You might get 3 days out of this.
Yeah, I mean, it's leaning towards a draw. Whichever team is going to do poorly is going to lean into trying to run out the clock. Because they've pretty much lost today, I reckon. I don't think they're going to play today.
I think it's guaranteed.
I think it is guaranteed, but they do have a reserve day for this exact reason.
Yeah, but if they lose Sunday as well, then
I think they're going to get maybe 2 or 3 days of play, and then what they can out of Sunday and Tuesday. But I don't know if that's going to be particularly helpful for
Even if all they did is get 2 teams to bat an innings each, even if it ends up in a draw with that, that's still better at least than like all 6 days washed out and we got not a single ball being bowled.
Yeah.
The draw does mean that both sides share the mace. I don't know how that works. Like, is there like Virat Kohli will keep it for a couple of weekends and then it goes to Kane Williamson like every alternate weekend? This is the custody arrangement.
Yeah. Surely it'd be something simpler than that, just
Oh, you never
because they get on, right?
overs.
Because they get on, right? So they have like shared holidays together with the mace and everything. It's a
They'll
very
they'll stay over and stuff, have sleepovers.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yep, no, it's either that or a sudden death over. I'd like to see a sudden death over.
I think New Zealanders are allergic to super overs as a
Yes.
general rule.
Yeah.
Still too soon.
Especially in England, too soon.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
I guess so. Yeah. Well, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Do you reckon there'll be any play today, or is it completely cancelled for today?
They haven't cancelled it because it's England and the weather can change, but I think people have assumed it was going to basically be washed out, even from a couple of days ago.
They may potentially get an hour's play at the end of the day if it stops raining just early enough and they can get it dry, but that might be all they get. Like, looking at the percentages, it's still 70% chance of heavy rain at 4 o'clock this afternoon in Southampton. So,
well, what we shouldn't ignore is while this match is happening, the Indian women team are playing their first test match in almost 8 years. Finally, after getting paid for going into the semi-finals last month. After an English journalist kicked up enough of a fuss, they get to play Test cricket against England, and they're currently in England. Won the toss, batted first, got 396 for 9 declared, which is a very good score in women's Test cricket.
That's very good.
And India are at 187 for 5, trailing by 209 runs, but I think they're about another 100-ish runs to avoid the another 5 or 6 runs to avoid the follow-on.
Yeah.
So it's a story of the game so far. Shafali Verma, who's 17-year-old, making her Test debut, got a 96.
Wow,
off
that's pretty good.
balls. Hit 13 fours and 2 sixes. So
wow,
not bad.
Just short of her 100 before
she tried to hit a 6 to get 100, obviously.
Obviously.
Yep. If you follow women's cricket at all, that's exactly what you'd expect from her. So well done. Smriti Madhana, the other opener, who's like at the old hand of the team, she's got 78. So good so far from the Indian team. Like, they'd be a bit. They've got Harmanpreet Kaur coming in, who I think is the best player in that team, who's currently batting, who's the best player in that team in my opinion. And
looks like they did have a bit of a collapse there after the openers got out. Yep, did really well.
Yeah, so I caught a bit of it towards the end of the day when I woke up this morning. The Charlotte Edwards was saying that, because I thought, India's gonna power on now, bat through tee, freely, and get to like close to 250, 260. And she was saying, look, in women's cricket, at the end of the day, last session, things can happen, and the bowlers should. And it's basically because they don't get the chance to play as much red ball cricket as the men and develop that long game, because you need a lot of mental resilience, and that's not something you're born with. That's not talent. You just have to keep training that. And if you don't get the opportunity, you're not really going to be able to do it. But yeah, it's good that they're playing the game. Looks very close. That one could be a barn burner, looks like. But I think it's raining up there too, where they're playing that game.
Yeah, actually, they've just started the Cricinfo stream for it. ESPN's there, and it's afraid the weather outlook isn't hugely positive. Huge splodge of rain's heading down towards the Gears Bowl, so it'll arrive in Bristol any minute.
Okay, so apparently that rain in Southampton is going literally to rain on the parade of the women. So both teams are gonna miss out, unfortunately, on the first day. But yeah, who do you think, if we're gonna have wait on while we're waiting, do we have any predictions? Who do we like as our top scorer for the game? Assuming we get innings, obviously.
Assuming we have innings. Well, me personally, I'm hoping for a good solid innings from Kane and Ross Taylor as well to really take the game by the scruff. And so from New Zealand point of view, I would really hope that both of them push on. I know Kane's been battling his elbow, though listening to the interviews, it does sound like it's better, and he was rested.
It would be really good to see Ross Taylor get a good score because it's going to be one of his last Test matches, I think. And I think we all agree Ross Taylor is like a legend. For the New Zealand cricket team, he's been there for so long, and he's one of those people whose jersey is already on the thing to be retired, because in New Zealand, if you've played 200 games in the one ODI team, your jersey is automatically retired.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
So, including him, the Nathan Astol, Chris Harris, and Daniel Vittori, Stephen Fleming, and Chris Cairns have all their jerseys retired.
Oh, nice.
From the ODI. So nobody can pick number 9, number 7, number 11, and number 44, which I believe is Ross Taylor's. And yeah. Can't remember Chris Harris's number for the life of me, because he hasn't played in so long. And now it makes sense because nobody took his number.
Yeah. It was a high number, as I remember. He had some ridiculously high number.
I think it was like 37 or something like that. No, 37 was Gavin Larson.
Yeah. There's something like that. I'll have to look it up. But I did like, in the last test against England, Taylor did seem to bat himself back into some form. He was looking pretty good in both those.
He could have easily just taken his time, gotten himself into some knot, but he just basically batted for the team, powered through to nice.
But he looked good, and the second innings at
nice
Lords as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was also batting for the team, where he just went out and they wanted quick runs, and he got them. So
yeah, both times I think I think we like to see this version of Ross Taylor that tries, bats his natural game.
It's a nice free.
Also, he's good at fast runs.
Yeah.
He's just better at it,
Yeah. And on the other side with India, I think there's the usual suspects, but I have a bit of a soft spot for Shubhaman Gill, who's still only 20 years old, only on his 5th game. He's been out on 99 for India, and he's gotten a couple of 90s. Like him, once I want to be one of those people who are, announces himself. Like he's already announced himself because he's did well in that Australian tour, but get his first century in a World Cup final, that'd be pretty cool. Especially,
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good place to get a ton, I suppose.
Yeah.
Is he opening? Oh yeah, that's right.
He is the
opener. That's right.
He's basically been the wonder kid of Indian cricket for a long time, and he finally got his chance. And I think in India, it doesn't matter where you'd rather bat, you bat where the team needs you to bat. Because there's just so many good players.
You bat where you get put, because you're in the team.
Well, it's also India's got a huge batting lineup, so it can play with tactical positioning of batsmen based on their play style, which is not a thing that you can do much. Sorry, guys, I got a call, but I will.
All right.
No worries.
All good.
I don't know if you heard, but I'm just going to put myself on mute.
Okay.
Hey, Ian, how's it going?
Let's not mute.
Sorry, I'm on a podcast with my mates about the cricket because their podcast.
I'll mute him for himself. I muted him.
Okay.
I think I can move him to the audience anyway. There we go.
Okay.
You can go back to being an audience member.
Wait. That's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
If you
Oh, now I lost at number 9. How did that happen? Oh, hey.
Yay, sorry about
Yay.
that. I accidentally went into one of the other chat rooms by mistake.
All right.
But yeah, if you're too shy to talk on the voice chat, absolutely throw down the DMs and
Yeah.
get on either the Twitch chat or the Discord.
We can go over and
And
have I'll do a shout out and a bit of stuff into the Twitch chat because we do have 3 users over there. Puhampai, Commander Root, and another TV viewer. So hi to you guys.
hi guys.
Hi Twitch. I sent a message over there. See how I'm not sure if any of them are actually paying attention or not. We'll find out. Yes. And Sky's got some warm ups, got some highlights from previous games. So they're showing a warm up from the 2019 World Cup where we played India in England. So
Yeah, that was an interesting game. Like I think that also kind of fits into the narrative of New Zealand kind of being it's a matchup thing, right? We're the Pikachu to their Blastoise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I went with that reference.
Yes.
Because, I'm trying to get down and funky with the kids. They're still into the Pokemon, right? That's what they like.
Yeah, totally.
Or is it just us? Is it our age group that like Pokemon?
No. To be fair, if you go to actual kids, my son and his friends are totally into Pokemon cards. So much, it's not funny.
Yeah, I think my daughter she found Pokemon a bit traumatic because in the first episode they get attacked by a flock of birds, and you know what her primal fear is.
Yeah. That's not the one for her, I guess.
And then after that, she was just like, "No, this show's too scary. I'm not watching Pokemon." I'm like, "Okay, fair enough."
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, and also she disliked that in Shrek, Princess Fiona decided to stay as an ogre at the end. She was like, "This is not. I don't like this ending." Because she liked Shrek all the way to until the end. And I was like, okay, so you just were like, I don't like the moral of this story.
Yes. Oh dear, yeah. I like how she just didn't, like, moral of the story.
No.
I want my stuff. I want my princess.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, if they do get some play later in the day, if you win the toss, what would you do?
I think if I win the toss,
Yeah.
I think I bowl, especially if I'm New Zealand with our pace attack, because it's going to be seam bowl friendly to begin with, and it's going to be on and off anyway. So as batting, you're going to be stopping and starting. The ball's going to be, who knows what it's going to do. There's going to be too much uncertainty. It may be too wet for it to do too much, in which case but I think it'd be too much for us batting because the ball might do too much. You're going to be stopping and starting, so you're never going to get set in your bowling and your batting. So
yeah,
it just seems to me it's better to bowl.
Yeah, my feelings on the toss. If you win the toss, you bat, and if the conditions look like they're really good for bowling, you think for a minute and then you bat.
Yes.
But but this is the thing. Neither side have home advantage in this game. Like to an extent, New Zealand might do. There's been a lot of talk that this might be a good toss to lose, and I am inclined to agree. I think even if you can get a couple of hours in, the bowl and bat for a decent-ish amount of time, it'll be a good good pitch to bat first on. But because, like you said, it's not likely to happen, the bowlers might have the edge. And I think especially both sides have bowlers who are very explosive. They can just come out and start getting really focused and put intensity on the batsman. It's not going to be good. That being said, if a batter can string together a performance between those, in those overs that they do get to bat and kind of get like a 50 to 60 runs, that might even be enough. It might, like 200 runs might be a very good score in these conditions.
There is that as well. Like, I don't think if these conditions keep there, which does look like they will, it's not going to be a high scoring match. So it may not matter that you go out bat first and you say only get 250. That may still be a winning first innings total. Because
like
it's not going to the conditions aren't going to change too much. You're going to go back at second and you're probably still going to be on and off a bit. I think so. I might take that back. If we get an hour or two today, maybe better to bat first, because tomorrow's probably going to be the best day out of the lot of them. And you might be able to bat through, if you can bat through the majority of tomorrow. I think
you might bat the other team out of the game.
Yeah, you're going to be much better off.
I think even if you got stop starts, this is the thing. Like if New Zealand were to bowl first after winning the toss, like all it takes is a player like a Rishabh Pant to come in and get some real quick fire runs, just like a quick fire 80 off 90 balls or something like that, and it just changes the game. And like that's a match winning knock right there.
Exactly.
And New Zealand have batters who can do the same as well. But it's more likely to come from India. So I think if New Zealand win the toss, they have to bat, because New Zealand's batting lineup suits tough conditions and batting slow and not getting overwhelmed by pressure. I think if they bowl first, they kind of play into India's hand. Even regardless of how if it's good, if they get a full day's play, they should bat first, because you just bat first if you win the toss, barring anything else. And the second part is if you are if it's going to be stop start and tough, then you don't want to be put in the position where somebody gets a good knock, like that game in a couple of seasons ago when Sri Lanka won the toss, and they basically got New Zealand all out for 210, which turned out to be a good score, because Tim Southee in the bottom of the innings got like a quick fire 60 that got them across.
Yeah. Remember that.
And this feels like that sort of game.
Yeah, I think you may be right there. I may have talked myself out of my own position before, and it does go back to win the toss, as you say, win the toss, bat first. If you think it may be slightly bowler friendly, and you win the toss, you think for a moment, and then you bat first. But by the way, we've got a question from chat. Well,
go on.
DM for me from Morsey, which is: do we think Kohli's going to score any runs, or has old mate Kane got too many plans to keep Kohli under wraps? Has Kane got his mate covered or not?
I mean, I think Kohli will get runs. But that being said, I don't think New Zealand are going to overly focus on one player, because that's a risk in this Indian lineup. I think Australia, to an extent, did that in the Test series, and heck, we see what they can do without Kohli, right?
Yeah.
Come back from 1-0 down and win a Test at the Gabba. So I think Kohli will get runs, but I wouldn't be worried about it. I think this might be the sort of game where every batter knows they have to try and edge out as many runs as possible. Everyone's gonna basically play nuggety and grind out whatever they can.
Yeah, I think you're right. I sort of see it the same way, and it goes for New Zealand as well. Like, India sure will have plans for the New Zealand batters, but once again, them focusing on Kane's not going to to help them in any case, because the New Zealand batting lineup can do it without Kane if they need to, and we've shown that in the past too. And say India's gone and won in Australia without Kohli, so
I think this is the sort of match every player tries to get 20 to 30 odd. If they can. Like everyone from your openers to your number 11.
Yeah, and I see in this game that both like Kohli and Kane will be, well, not super defensive, but they will be at their best, I feel, and they'll know that they'll know this as well, that the other team will prize their scalp, but at the same point know that neither of them feel the pressure, but they'll know especially that they won't have that pressure because the rest of the team will do well enough anyway. So, I feel both Kane and Kohli will have a good game, and tough, but they'll be batting through it and really showing their star qualities. So both of them will get runs. But as you say, I think it's going to be hard press runs, and it'll be others that be one of the other members of the batting lineup that will actually possibly be the star with either a quick fire or some brilliance that's just tipping the balance.
I like how we both decided we liked the oldest player in one team and the youngest player in the other team for our run score. Not that we think they're necessarily going to be the top scorer, but we like it. Like we like that idea of those two getting the top score. And
I think this with the weather as well. Just adding on to that this is the sort of game for Taylor as well. Like as you're saying, the quick fire, 40 or 50 that off a few balls that just tilts the momentum or something, just shifts it slightly. That's the Taylor. That's a Taylor innings, just tailor made for.
Yeah, I agree. That is. Yep, I'm sure that was intentional, but yeah, Taylor is definitely Taylor and Saudi as well down the order is definitely capable of that.
Yeah.
I think New Zealand with Kyle Jamieson at 7 and Tim Southee at 8. That's not as strong as India's batting lineup, is not terrible.
No.
Like those are people that can get runs, and obviously they have to. I think we accept as New Zealand fans, New Zealand's gonna have to up their game to beat India.
Yeah.
Because India are just a really good team. So expect if Tim Southee can bat improve his get up like another 5% on his batting, then those could all be useful runs. Every run in the lower order feels like 2 runs when you're in a low scoring game. Like
exactly. They're all bonus runs. They're just But
and all of them can defend. Like Ajaz Patel has shown it, and he's batted pretty well as well. And Trent Boult and Neil Wagner are well capable.
Neil Wagner definitely, and Trent Boult's shown that he can stick around with a recognised batsman and provide the support. He's not just gonna. His wicket doesn't just fall. He's able to see out a few balls for an over. He can squeeze out a run and get down the other end to give a recognised batter an actual chance at it and stuff. So
and the Indian bowlers, they're pretty much in the same boat, right? They all play IPL. They all practice needing to come in if they need to hit out for get as many runs as possible. They can do it. If they just need to keep the ball out from getting them out, they can do that too. Like as you said, I think the more and more the rain comes, the more and more I think the 5 bowler strategy that India's employed is the good one, and I think New Zealand are going to do the same. 5 specialist bowlers, 5 specialist
batters, wicketkeeper
batters, and I'm counting Kyle Jamieson as a specialist bowler because I think that's what the team kind of counts him as
at the moment.
Now.
Yeah.
Hopefully we answered your question, Worsey, just saying.
Yeah.
I kind of edged around it while kind of answering it.
Sure, we managed something close to it.
Yeah.
teach him to be quiet there and not join in really.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, we've got Pi in Twitch chat.
Hi, Pi.
Hi, Pi. I see you talking there. You type stuff. I saw it. He was there. He could come into here as well. Here's a now.
Yeah.
In chat here too.
And yeah, you could come into the Discord. There's quite a few people and the Twitch stream now. So there's Mr.
Oh, good.
Lurky, Rogue G1RL, Sad_girl, and XX Demon Kitty.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good. Welcome all. Hope you enjoy our stream here. Let's look on the cricket's now replaying, or Sky's now replaying the semi-final of the 2019 World Cup between New Zealand and India. It looks like it's going to be a full replay. They've really just given up on highlights.
Yeah, because that's basically, like I said, there's no play till lunch, so we're at least a few hours away. Me and The Fool are going to be here for at least another...
maybe half hour?
Yeah, okay. Because, I was going to ask, I was checking with you.
Yeah, I was saying, it does say, there's definitely no play until 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
But that was after my...
Sorry, go on.
I was saying, that was, roughly 11 p.m. was roughly our original end time, depending on everything. So, yeah, I think if we aim somewhere between 10:30 and 11 New Zealand time, then we'll be fine. That might be hopefully too late for Pi, who's saying he's over in California, so it's 3 a.m.
So, a major shout out to him.
Yeah. That's some good commitment, Pi. I really like it. Thanks. That's okay. Worsey says thanks. Not thanks. He says he's happy to help with providing discussion points. So it's good. So yes, no thanks, Worsey. You're a helper. You're a good helper.
That's right.
I didn't know that either, that California is one of the centers of cricket in the USA. Sort of makes
Silicon
sense.
Valley.
Yeah.
Silicon
sort of
Valley
makes
with
sense.
the large Indian population there.
Yeah.
Apparently...
Oh, Pi.
What a psh.
Bop. Funny guy.
I think you and I are both dads, so that's right up our alley.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was great. Yeah. But yeah, I could see how Silicon Valley, say, with a large Indian community, would be very cricket focused.
Apparently, Silicon Valley, New York, Tri-City area, and Florida are the big areas for cricket.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, Florida makes sense as well.
Yeah, Florida's got the Caribbean peoples there as well, but there's bits of cricket everywhere because there is people from all over the Commonwealth playing all over the USA.
Yeah.
And there's apparently a big scene in Philadelphia, which used to be the center of US cricket.
All right.
Back in the day. When they were considered a first-class side. Or I think it was Philadelphia, it might be Pennsylvania, the state as opposed to the city.
All right, that's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting. You say it's not really the US is not the place where you think of cricket, but you say it's plenty of Commonwealth people from the Commonwealth countries there, so it makes sense that it's strong in a way, in a grassroots way.
Because Shivnarine Chandapal, who lives in Miami, is a big patron of US cricket, and he apparently has funded, and there is a college level cricket tournament, NCAA level, so people can play cricket in college, and there's tournaments and stuff to win.
That's pretty cool.
and not get paid because you play in college. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
another discussion
That's
for
that
another
is another
day.
discussion. Unfortunately, that
And
podcast died. We did have that discussion, but that never made it through.
yeah, so my understanding is they play both long form red ball cricket and white ball cricket in the
Oh, cool.
NCAA.
Well, that is
So,
pretty cool.
and the uh, um, amongst other things, the oldest ever international cricket game is between the USA and Canada, as
Oh, yeah, I think I knew that one.
you and I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Canada were kind of considered a first class, country until like very late, like long after until the Second World War play.
All right, right.
Australia and England were still touring there to play games, and
All
it was
right.
considered a first class game. Not a test
Well,
match, but
yeah, yeah. That's still pretty cool.
yeah. I'm sure there's
Oh,
like an alternate timeline there where all those football and hockey clubs in Canada play cricket in the summer.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure there is. Do we want to, since cricket's pretty much non-existent at the moment, thanks to the rain, do we want to talk any Euro 2021 or Copa de America?
Yeah, so Euro 2021, yeah, it started off with one of the craziest things I've ever seen in a football field with Ericsson.
Oh, yeah. That was
And
crazy.
I mean Denmark have now I think they've just lost their game against Belgium. But I don't think
Yeah.
Denmark are going through now. I think they had a decent chance in their group to come second or third, but
No.
the
No. Well, I suppose there's still mathematical chance, but
yes,
they're on 0 points. But Russia and Finland are both on 3, but they're both beaten Denmark, so I guess that's makes
and
it less likely.
we're only a few hours away from the big game tomorrow morning, England versus Scotland,
Yeah.
7 a.m. New Zealand time.
Oh yeah.
Another older fixture of the
Yeah, yeah.
sport.
That's sure to be
Um,
a good fixture, really. That's going to be fiery.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
the but I think we're all kind of expecting England to win.
Oh yeah.
There's not much hope for the Tartan Army here, I'm sorry to
No, no,
say.
no. It'll be a fierce game, I think. But yeah, I think the only real worry for the English team is whether they get drawn into the emotion of the match. If they just play sensible football and play what they can play, then they'll easily win. But
Yeah.
if they start getting into anything else or start to become scrappy and really living in the moment, I think Scotland may be able to get something out of it, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean the last time Scotland played England in a competitive game for a FIFA World Cup qualifier was June the 11th, 2017, which they drew 2-2. But that
Ooh,
was 4 years ago.
yeah, yeah. That wasn't necessarily the best England team.
Yeah. And who now, what did you think about Cristiano Ronaldo showing everyone that he is the most important sports person in the world by knocking $4 billion off Coca-Cola's value
Yeah, I heard
in
that.
two
That was
seconds?
hilarious. Oh, I heard about that. That is just ridiculous that he just.
Well,
Yeah.
what's crazy is everyone, like, this is the times we live in where pretty much he's getting crap for promoting healthy
Yeah. That is.
lifestyle. Like, he's just gone, yeah, don't drink Coke, drink water. And like that shouldn't be controversial.
It really isn't. It's like
Like, don't
it's
get me wrong, Coke is delicious, but it's got
yeah.
no nutritional value whatsoever.
It's delicious, delicious sugar. Mm-mm-mm. But yeah, it's crazy that him saying no, water's healthier for you is somehow some massive thing. It's just like
Yeah.
yeah, just as you say, the craziness of the times. And
I'm
it's
sure he
like it's
got
not like Coke is some struggling startup company either. Like it's Coca
yeah,
Cola. Like
yeah.
sure, it's $4 billion knocked off their share price, but at the same point, it's Coca Cola. So they're like, that hurt. Ow, that was a deep scratch.
Yeah.
Like it's still a scratch, but it's deep. We felt it.
They lost $1 on their share price, which is worth over 50. So it's
Yeah,
less
yeah.
it's 2% of their value, which is like actually that is nothing to sneer at. Like
No, no.
especially like in 1 second from one person. But yeah. What would be funnier is Cristiano Ronaldo had shorted Coke stock beforehand. It'd be like, now I'm rich.
Be funny because it's Ronaldo and it's not like he's particularly short of money either. It'd be like,
Yeah, yeah. Not that I think he's doing that, by the way.
no, no,
Let me
no, oh, no,
clarify.
clearly. That's, let's say he's got way too much money to worry about that.
Yeah, and now do we think Cristiano Ronaldo in this tournament is gonna beat Ali Dai's record and become the top scoring international player of all time?
Ooh.
He's only 3 goals behind.
Oh, then definitely. I mean, that's yeah, no, that's he'll score in just about every game that he plays. So I think that'll definitely happen. That's why they was Portugal. Yeah, so they've still got 4 games left in the pool. I mean, there's Germany and France left as well, but
I believe of all the players whom we know for certain how many goals they've scored, like we have a thing, Ferenc Puskas is still at the top at 808, and Cristiano Ronaldo is at 798.
all right,
So there is a good. Okay, he will be the highest scoring verified,
yeah,
highest verified scorer by the time he retires, probably, and Lionel Messi will probably overtake him
yeah,
after he retires. I think that's a given. But if you were Cristiano Ronaldo, would you try to go for 1,000? You've got 798 goals now. It's only 200 more goals. That's
yes,
at the moment he's basically getting 50 goals a season.
yes. That's
That's
4 or
4
5
years.
years. 4 years, yeah. I mean, yeah,
Especially if he's at PSG,
yeah,
where
exactly.
basically he's gonna score heaps of goals in France and probably heaps of goals in the
Europe as well.
Europe as well. Yeah, and
Yeah,
everything. Then and France also have a League Cup, so that's a lot of games. I mean, obviously he can't play as many games anymore, but
no,
that'd still be an amazing record. I mean, even if he
yeah,
decided to like do the retirement thing of going to the US
yeah,
for
yeah,
4 or 5 years, like I feel like Cristiano Ronaldo loves playing football. Like he just wouldn't stop playing at some top team just because he wants to, even if it's not like at the top level. And
yeah. I know
those
what you
goals
mean.
count. Like if he plays first division or even second division in Portugal, or sorry, not Portugal. Obviously, Portugal are a top team, but even if he goes somewhere like Malta or Cyprus,
Yeah, yeah,
plays in their second or third division and like, or goes to like Australia and plays the A League, those goals count for this.
yeah, yeah.
So
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I
thousand
guess
goal,
would
a
mean for
thousand
him.
verified goals. Yeah,
Yeah, means he's playing till he's 40, which I know is not completely out of the question. So especially
and
if he just
Matthews. Yeah,
yeah,
Stanley Matthews played till he officially retired at 70 and famously
yeah,
said he retired too early.
yeah. We got
Like, because
niquist
he was
back by the
still
way,
Nyquist is back.
and he's inviting. Not to interrupt your little flow there, sorry, but
But yeah, hello.
Oh wait, I have him
That's
muted.
okay.
We'll put him back on. Where can I do it? Yeah.
There you go. Can
No, I need to unmute him.
I think he's
All right.
unmuted now. I think
Hear me, guys?
There we go. Yeah, I can
we
hear you
can.
now.
I can hear you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were talking about the Euros since the cricket is not happening at the moment.
Yeah.
So I really like France. I liked them before the tournament. I still like them now. But I still think there's a good chance Portugal will go back to back.
Yeah.
I reckon it's Portugal and then Germany, maybe.
I think Germany are pardon my words, shithouse at the moment. Their coach, he's about to leave. I don't even know why he's coaching this tournament, Joachim Löw. Because Hansi Flick is just waiting in the wings to take over. He should have just taken over now, and the players don't like him. He's already caused drama in the squad, and the team lost to North Macedonia before in the qualifying game. So
yeah,
that's
that does say a lot. And yeah, like that Group F though with Portugal, France, and Germany.
to them. I know that.
So, yeah.
That group, France first, Portugal second. That is.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I have to say, I'm currently staring at the grey sky, being sad. Hoping that same as the weather in New Zealand right now.
We've accumulated a group of followers from all over the world, and they humor us and listen to us explain cricket to them because they don't know what it is and they're trying to understand it. So for 3 years we've been going through with the Test World Championships and like these tough games, and then basically it might just end in a draw because it rained for 5 days. That's the most cricket thing ever.
Well,
it is really
like that's how it should be.
That's how I think like Martin Crowe basically said that, like, liking cricket well enough to be good at it like he was a mental illness that he suffered. Like, he described it as an addiction that he had to get over. And, like, it's times like this where you're like, yeah, I can see what you mean, Marty. Like...
But it is the thing. I mean, it makes sense. Like, occasionally you get a proper cricket match here where you can actually go to the grounds. You don't really see it in international matches anymore, but in the first division matches, especially if you go out to Kent and places like that, basically you can have a picnic and get massively pissed on Pim's cocktails while you watch the cricket on a nice sunny day. It's a great way to spend a sunny day.
Sure. Yeah, we did that in Nelson during the Cricket World Cup because Nelson's that sort of town, and it was probably the best live cricket viewing experience I've ever had. Just like a nice little bank, just sat on the grass, chilled, and there's like all these nice food stalls in the back.
That would be nice.
And I think most of those food stalls were just like local businesses, just setting up food stalls for the Cricket World Cup, and because I don't think they usually had like a Chinese takeaway at the cricket or like a Malaysian takeaway at the cricket. I mean, if they do, all good, but like we don't tend to see that often in cricket grounds.
Yeah, that was likely just extra for the Cricket World Cup. But that said, it is Nelson, so who knows?
Yeah, that's true. They maybe just do things differently down there, and more power to them. Sunny weather and great Southeast Asian food, like, who's to complain?
Can't go wrong with, especially Malaysian food.
Oh yeah, agree. That is my genre of food. Which is that's the food I grew up with as well, so like no surprise there.
Okay, let me call you on this one. Who do you reckon is going to be the semi-final matches for the Euro?
Oh, I think England will make the semis. I think Portugal will make the semis because I picked them, and I think France will make the semis. So the last semi-finalist is probably going to be Belgium. That's my 4. There we go. Process of elimination.
Yeah. That's a good solid
Yeah.
4, really.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the Dutch don't have a lot going. That's true.
The Dutch have a very good team and a terrible coach, just like Germany. Like, I would love it if Holland were in the semifinals or in the finals, because they haven't qualified for Euros last time, and they didn't qualify for the World Cup last time. So they've been basically a shithouse team for the last 5 years. And the Euros basically go out of their way to make every good team be able to qualify, like 24 qualifiers. Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an upset along the way. Would you consider that Finland win over Denmark an upset, or that's really like you can't really count that, eh?
Not
I don't
really.
think
I'd
Denmark
No.
were really into playing football at that point.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
And I guess losing 1-0 is better than losing 3-0, which is what UEFA threatened to do to them if they didn't get back on the pitch.
Yeah. Which is a bit
Yeah,
stink.
which is like a real shithouse move from UEFA. I think we can all agree.
Yeah, I think we can.
I mean, it's a corrupt organization. UEFA it's full of bribes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say
Well,
I wasn't going to say I was surprised by UEFA's move, but it doesn't stop it being a
Not
shithouse
shocked.
move.
Yes.
yeah, I'm not surprised by any dick move that UEFA makes, or the tennis federation.
Yeah.
Just white people who play no sports but make money off other people who have talent and skill.
Yeah.
Being dick. Yeah. It's just little man syndrome, right? Oh look, I'm totally shit, but make the most amount of money. Right. Well, that means I get to say, right? No, you don't. Just have to look at the fucking
exactly.
tennis to me. Just have to look at tennis.
Yeah.
Or the Olympics.
Yeah.
the Japanese Olympics are going, oh no, we can't have more women on the board because they talk too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just blatantly out and saying it. Like, and I think it is turning for the Olympics in Japan. The people are kind of not. I don't understand why the Olympic Games didn't just tell Paris, look, you guys get 2028 now, LA gets 2032, and Tokyo gets 2024.
Yeah.
Because they make it. Because you've got to remember, these guys spend their life going to meetings. They're a board. I don't know if you've been to a lot of board meetings, but board members justify their pay and the exceptional perks they get by driving things into the ground like this, stretching things out.
Yeah.
And,
I get that, but like I think everybody knew that thinking COVID would be sorted out all over the world and by this time, like, you know, because they made the decision last year, was going to be optimistic. And,
Yeah.
you know, the fact that we've got Euros and even Copa America is probably going to have issues down the track. But because Venezuela had 11 players test positive for COVID.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well,
And they're forced to go ahead. I get the politics behind it because shifting it just would cause issues, and like for Copa, the big one is because they want to host the 2030 World Cup in Uruguay, Argentina, Paraguay, and Chile, because that would be like the 100th anniversary of the World Cup, and they wanted to go back to Uruguay and play it at the Centenario and all that stuff. That great historic stadium. But but like if they can't host a Copa America, then you know it puts that at risk.
Yeah.
And
do you reckon they'll try?
Sorry?
Do you reckon they'll try to host it?
No, they've already put it. They're the only country to have officially put in a bid for that.
Okay.
So there is a serious bid, and I think the only serious bid that would be from the that would be considered apart from theirs for historic reasons is if England like there was a Great Britain bid, which is in the pipeline supposedly. So England,
meant to be-
England,
Yeah.
Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, and Ireland together.
Yeah, and it's meant to be a very serious bid, even if they haven't put it in yet. Like that, so it'll be between those two. It will pretty much be decided about whether it goes to, the British Isles and Ireland as historic home of soccer, home of football,
yeah,
or to Uruguay and South
which
America.
is the home of the World Cup.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be curious to see. I mean, if the British Isles put in a serious bid, that could be good. But that's just it takes more wherewithal than the current post-Brexit chump of organization of a system that they've got going here.
Yeah,
There is that.
There is
that being said, that being said, though, I can see this bid coming in around 2023, just in time for the 2024 elections. Because you only have to put in the bid like beforehand. As long as they do it in as long as they do it in by 2023, 24, it'll be fine. And it'll give them the Conservatives at least, it'll give them a huge political boost. So I can see them.
Boris Johnson has already said that they are going to officially put in the bid. It's already been welcomed by the government. And the UEFA has already put its support behind the UK to do it.
Yeah.
So it would be led by England, with the other four being the other four countries being co-hosts in this situation. But UEFA basically told all of their other member countries not to put in a bid because they're not going to get UEFA's backing.
Yeah.
They're going to support the Great Britain or the UK. And which
if they can pull it off, then it'll be a good way, because Brexit's still playing out. So it's going to take a few years before it settles. Yeah.
Either way, it would be a great tournament, I think. I mean, obviously, nobody wants to predict 9 years into the future, given the year we had last year. But I think it'll be a great tournament regardless. You either have the South American great, flair, and one end, and you have the UK. Either side would host a great tournament. There's plenty of great stadiums in all five countries in Great Britain, and all four of the South American countries that want to host it. And both of them have the advantage of the games would be really close together. You'd be at most traveling a 2-hour plane flight between games.
Yeah.
But the difference is, for fans to turn up, the UK is a better destination. You'll get more overseas fans in the UK.
Yes, potentially.
The other thing,
you would get a lot more. You would get a lot of South American fans in South America, because Buenos Aires is basically the party city of South America, right? And the road systems and train systems in South America are really good. So fans do travel by road pretty long distances to go watch football.
Yeah,
so
I mean, the bigger question is, who's hosting it in 22?
22 is Qatar next year, and after that it's going to be in the US. It's three countries: US, Canada, and Mexico are hosting it together in 2026.
And then Europe makes sense again. So
Europe might not make sense again because they just had it in 2018, whereas South America had last had it in 2014.
Yeah.
So they're both kind of due for a tournament. If South America gets it in 2030, it will you will probably get or either way, those two continents are probably going to get the first two World Cups of the 2030s, and then you'll probably have 2038 be in China. Though China has said it's going to bid for 2034. And FIFA might give it to them because, China.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain why FIFA might be interested in hosting a World Cup and growing the game in the largest country in the world.
It's also FIFA.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, the bigger problem is that FIFA makes a huge amount of its money from overseas participants, and China is not really open to that.
It would be I could almost see a very petty move by India to put in a rival bid.
They can't. They don't have the infrastructure to do it properly.
There
They
are
don't
better
have the local-
stadiums for football in India than there is in China. There are like
Yeah.
better football stadiums in Calcutta than there is in anywhere in China for football.
Though to be fair with
Really?
the Chinese,
Yeah.
there'll be better football
India has
stadiums
a
by the
way,
time
way
they get it.
stronger and a longer history of football culture than China does.
Yeah.
Like I've
Well,
been playing
yeah,
football in India for like 150 years or so. Like
That's
just
true,
after
but
the
the
UK.
yeah, but the Chinese will build them.
Yeah, they
Um,
will build them, but the football cares about history, right? There's no stadium like the Salt Lake Stadium in China that doesn't have that history. There's no stadium like the stadium in Goa or the one in Guwahati or the one in Delhi. They're just historic stadiums that have they breed the game. Like,
Yeah.
you don't
True.
get that at a new stadium, and like those things matter in a tournament. Though I'm not saying India should go for it or they will go for it. I'm just saying it would be it's not that would be a bid. That would be a genuine rival bid if it was to go up against the Chinese bid.
If it was going up against China, they could bid against it. But the bigger problem, of course, I reckon, is going to be with the Chinese bid is the geopolitical climate come the 2030s.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
It would be a real FIFA move if it got really, really tense and FIFA just said, "You guys can co-host it," like Korea and Japan. Like, you guys look like you're gonna get into a war. If we pick one of you, how about you both get it in 2002?
yeah. But at least at the time,
Magic Miller in the voice chat, welcome.
Yep. I see he's in. Hey Tom.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who's Warsi, by the way? Is that somebody? I know?
Horsey, I
He's-
don't know if you know him, but he's one of Adam's hockey friends.
Yeah. Lives
Huh?
down in Christchurch now, or Canterbury, North Canterbury.
Yes, not all of Canterbury's Christchurch.
No, I should. I realized that as I started saying it, like saying Christchurch is not quite right. Walsey may get very upset with me. I'll keep an eye on as the vitriol comes through DM at me.
Is he in the yellow? He likes the yellow and greens, right? That's the North Canterbury uniform. Or is that South Canterbury?
No, that's green and black. So yeah, I think it's yellow and green for North Canterbury.
Right.
Maybe he can. Oh yeah, I've got something coming through. Here we go. Yellow and green is Rangiora. There we go.
There you go. See,
There.
I knew I was right.
Yeah.
Obscure sports knowledge. Of course, I knew it.
Yeah, of course you know it. Why do we doubt you?
No,
I'd
but
like to see you on Mastermind sometime, mate.
sorry.
I'd like to see you on Mastermind sometime. Pick a sport that you're good at. Mastermind the shit out of you.
Yeah.
We had the
That'd be fun.
best. We had the best pub quiz team
Yep.
between us, the orange one, and Chardonnay. Repeat offenders. Won everything we entered.
Who's the orange one?
Who you're the person you're going to the game with?
We don't mention his name in this podcast.
It's a running gag that we never mention him by name. He's always called the orange one, the elder one, or the Holland supporter.
Yeah.
He is a bit like that. On calls, I like to think of him as hang on. That is his most common call.
Oh dear. Yeah.
All right, lads. It's been good to chat as always. I'm gonna tune in more often. You guys doing this weekly?
We put up a podcast. We don't do the live podcast. This is the first one we've done like this. But we do try and put up podcasts on most of the podcasting services, and they go up maybe once every 2 weeks, one a month.
Yeah.
Between that
If
sort
you've
of
got If you've got Podbean or Apple Podcasts or any of that, like it's on there, you just look for 9642.
yeah, or
Nice.
stay in if you keep Discord here, you'll get notifications through that. I normally when something goes up, I'll put a notification up in here with a link where you can go listen to it.
That sounds great.
We've got a Facebook page as well. If you look Facebook.
Yeah, I don't need
Facebook
anymore, so.
All right, yeah.
I just avoid Facebook. It means I've lost some friends, but I go, I could only contact you through Facebook. We weren't that close.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, always welcome in here and chat. So
yeah,
just
absolutely.
And you guys likely to be on again tomorrow doing this?
Not doing
this,
this, but might be on chat for for a convo if you want to. If you want to text and say hi, we'll be around.
Yeah, we might be on the voice chat. We probably won't be streaming.
No. We'll have another stream. We've got our actual. This will be the end of season 7, for lack of a better terminology. It's the end of a 7th year of football season of podcasting, and so we're going to do a live one then. I think that was the 2nd of July. We scheduled it as. Mr. NumberNine? That's about right.
I think so, 2nd July. That was right.
Go look. I pinned it. I can go look.
Oh, before you go, Nyquist, I need you to answer this for me. So, I don't know if you know, but I'm a really big fan of a basketball team called the Phoenix Suns. And they've made the playoffs for the first time in almost, basically in 11 years. And they were up against LeBron James, and I started wearing this jersey that my brother bought me last year, and since then they haven't lost a game. Like, they kicked LeBron James out of the tournament, and then they swept their the next team they played against, and they're in the Western Finals. And I've been telling Saba that I can't take this off now. Like, I just have to keep wearing it until they either get eliminated or win. And she's like, why? And I'm like, look, you just don't understand sports. Like,
when you're onto a winning talisman, you don't throw it away.
Yeah, so she was telling me, like, you do take it off when you go for a swim and a shower. So why don't you just be naked for an hour and I'll wash it and put you on it? And I told her, like, look, you can't wash it. That would get rid of the luck, right? Like, that
definitely can't wash
thing,
it,
right?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
That's just
logic, right? You just wash away the luck if you do that.
What you have to do is shower so that you leach some of the luck back in. That's what you're supposed to do. Get rid of contaminants. Look, she's comes from the right part of the world. She understands ritualistic, sort of rituals.
She does and she doesn't.
Sounds like my wife.
Oh well, yeah. Actually, I've just been looking. Game 5, Phoenix second. They beat the Lakers.
LeBron James is fine. I made the playoffs, but then I was like, I'll just wear the shirt. And then since then, they just haven't lost. They've just kept winning.
Well, if you're onto a winning talisman, you would be, and you love the team.
Yeah,
you couldn't throw it away.
And it's all down to you wearing that shirt, man. If you throw it away, you know they're going to start losing. So you got to keep wearing it.
They weren't just not qualifying for the playoffs for the last 11 years. They were the worst team in the NBA until this season. Like, and then they became the second team. Like,
yeah.
Like,
yep.
It's like if Bangladesh suddenly were like, world leaders in cricket.
But Bangladesh had their day in the sun. Like,
they
in the
did
2010s.
Actually, to be fair, and they beat Australia, they beat England in Test matches. I guess that's not a fair comparison. The Phoenix Suns were nowhere near that good.
Yeah. Well, I certainly agree. I'm sure if you need me to, you can use my name to back me up again. I can back yourself up against Bobby.
Yep.
No, but yeah.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, hang on. He's going to be moving back to New Zealand. You guys know that, right? In September.
Oh, he's coming back to New Zealand, or was Australia?
He's moving back to Auckland.
Oh, really? It was putting up
Is
things
he?
about needing
Oh,
visas into Australia, so didn't realize it was coming to Auckland.
Well, he's moving back to stay close to his whānau for a couple of years.
Yeah. Oh,
He's
that'd
got
be
a
good.
he's got a him and his new fiancée.
Yeah,
oh, that's nice.
it'd be nice
Yep.
to have him back.
Yes.
Yeah, and
They
she's
can
lovely.
maybe. That's cool.
That is good.
We'll hopefully we'll catch up obviously when he's back, I guess.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
he's done his quarantine and all that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when he's back, but we missed him last time. He came back just before the lockdowns.
Yeah,
no,
literally.
I think it was the Wednesday of the lockdowns he was meant to be having a catch up or something like that, and then everything started.
We're all like, yeah, nah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no. So not happening.
But in this case, he's going to be there for a couple of years. So
Oh, good.
quick. It's not a flying visit.
No, it's a proper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's been.
That should be good then.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
All things working out. If I can get into Australia, then I'm going to go visit my nephew, and obviously when I do that, I'll come see you lot. as
Oh,
well.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be good fun.
That'd be very good fun.
Maybe even do a Taupo road trip because you can't go wrong with Taupo.
Don't disagree with that.
Anyway, lads, pleasure as always. I'll catch up with you tomorrow, assuming the cricket's back on.
Yeah, fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Fingers crossed.
All
Yep.
right.
Let's take
Alright.
catches.
Gotcha.
Hey,
Right.
dude.
That's pretty cool that you might be back down for a little bit as well.
Yeah. Looks like it. Well, looks like we're not going to get any play. Shall we wind it down? So officially, it is official now. 2nd June. We're going to do the proper live stream. What can we expect
What can we
what can
expect?
on
I
that
think-
stream? Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Euros, I'm sure, and the Cricket World Cup.
Yeah,
well,
both those.
Obviously, looking back at that, and Test World Championship and Copa America as well.
Yeah. Maybe a bit of a review of just football season in general for the EPL. So we haven't done a review.
Yeah.
One we did sort of a end of season prediction type one for the last. It was pretty much all done by the time we were doing that, but
Yeah.
and perhaps since we'll be near the beginning of the next season, we can do a little bit of a look forward.
Yeah. I think by then we'll also be either in the NBA finals or close to it.
Yeah,
so we
should
can
be.
talk a bit about that as well.
Yep.
And there will be other cricket games on at that time, so hopefully we'll be talking about that.
Yeah.
There's a few issues around sport where we can get into as well, and I think we're going to start having some rugby. Are we not? Some international rugby to talk about, and some league.
We should be having some international rugby, yes. We're just finishing up the Super Rugby Australasia as well. The finals on Saturday night. Blues versus Highlanders. Is always good.
Yep. The team that got there by beating all the Aussies and losing to all the Kiwis. The Blues.
To be fair, this year the Super Rugby Australasia is just playing New Zealand versus Australia. And the Blues had won most of the year anyway for the Super Rugby Aotearoa, other than losing to the Crusaders. But it's just the Crusaders didn't make it, which was hilarious.
Yeah. I think the fact that we have a Super Rugby final without the Crusaders is like incredible. I can't even remember the last time that happened.
It was 2017, 2016, I think they were saying. They were talking about it on the radio.
Yeah.
I think it's 2017 when it was Hurricanes Highlanders, when the Highlanders won.
So are they thinking we're going to go back to normal Super Rugby, or is South Africa actually out from...
No, as far as I know, South Africa, they withdrew from the Super Rugby. I think COVID sort of saved any need to address the issues of what does that mean for Sansa and for the Rugby Championship and Super Rugby, because they couldn't do Super Rugby or really, and the Rugby Championship's been a bit up and down about how they've been doing it anyway. So, they've just kicked that problem down the road until they work out whether they keep doing South Africa in the Rugby Championship if they're not in Super Rugby. But
Yeah, and there's also obviously I think Argentina will be back.
yeah. So
But does this mean we invite Japan and that's our new quadruple?
Potentially. Maybe
I mean, at least we want, I think, a super franchise in Japan again, would we not?
Yeah. I think they're looking at this. Well, they're not looking at. I think there is going to be a Super Rugby franchise in the islands. I think it's split between Suva and Apia.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. So Samoa and Fiji, and so there's going to be one there, and I think they're considering another. They're considering one in Japan.
So they're not following our idea of having it in Honolulu and having it in Hawaii?
No, not yet. So I'm sort of surprised that it hasn't been floated, or some sort of America's team where they say, right, Honolulu would be the best place to stick one.
Because there's no other big sports teams there, and that would be, you've got the Pacifica people who are into rugby and stuff who are there as well. So yeah,
exactly. It would be just about the perfect place to put it. So maybe one of them of Sansa will listen to our podcast and eventually and realize that we're right. Like maybe one day UEFA and FIFA will listen to us and understand that your Super League concept is the right way to go, and then everything will be right in the world.
Yeah. Apparently it might go to a 12 from the looks of it, back to Super 12. So the 5 Aussie teams, or be back to 5 Aussie teams.
Yeah.
Because they've got 4 at the moment, don't they?
They got. I think they're back to 5. They were back to 5 for the Australasia one, because they just matched up 1-1. They had Bisay, Queensland, New South Wales, ACT, Victoria, and Perth, and Western Australia. So they're the 5 this year.
Yeah,
which matched up directly with the 5 New Zealand teams, and they just played each other each once. So, just the New Zealand teams played each of the Australian teams once, and vice versa, obviously. And that was the.
Yeah.
I think they may have carried some rankings in from Aotearoa, Super Rugby Aotearoa and Super Rugby Australia, but I'm not 100% sure. Like, just in terms of what they've done to beat each other, but I think maybe not.
So it looks like they might do 2 teams in Argentina and the Trans-Tasman teams, but I think if you are going to have 5-5, then for Australia and New Zealand, and I don't know if that's sustainable in Australia, to be fair, because I think the Western Force are sustainable. Like that's a team which has supporters and the support in the local area. Because there isn't, it's basically, because soccer is played in summer, they don't have a winter code other than AFL to compete with. It's not competing with AFL and Rugby League, it's only got AFL.
Yeah.
Whereas you could probably do a team in Japan and maybe a team in the islands, that's 12, and if you got rid of the Melbourne team, you could have the Jaguars, and that's, I think, a good 12.
Yeah, that is a good 12.
I think 12 is probably the ideal number, maybe 14.
Well, you have 14, you just add a Pacific team into that, and either Japan or Honolulu, depending on which direction they go, which is probably Japan, but then you got your 14, and it's a nice little number. And Super 14 always seemed to be a reasonably compact season as well. Like it didn't get too bloated.
Yeah, I think that's probably the way to go. I would go with 14 teams.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much travel, right? Otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's enough travel anyway, getting to Argentina and back again twice, but
Yeah. Even from WA to Argentina, WA to Argentina is still pretty far, right? Like that's
it's like the whole world, basically. Half the world.
yeah. Yeah, and then New Zealand to Argentina is the other one. Like
Yeah, it's not.
it's almost a miracle to think about how long Super Rugby lasted with all that travel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they were jetting all around the place. Really shows the society we lived in.
Yeah. That's weird. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It does feel like a product of its time.
Yeah, now it does, yeah. It's crazy.
But like this is the thing, if South Africa are not in Super Rugby and we kick them out of the Test Rugby Championship because they're not in Super Rugby, then what happens to because where does South Africa go? Because the Six Nations do not want to have a seventh nation apparently, because that would
Yeah.
basically cut into the club season. Not to
Yeah.
mention travel to South Africa.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I get the feeling that that South Africa will find a way to stay in the rugby championship and just have their teams play up in Europe. But we'll see how it goes. As I say, that was always the position, that was the tension that was sort of keeping SANZAAR together, was that between Australia and New Zealand needed the money from South Africa, and South Africa needed the competition from New Zealand and Australia, because that's what they wanted to play New Zealand and Australia, and New Zealand and Australia just says, well, we need your viewing numbers and money, so you play Super Rugby against us. So yeah, I think, but I have the feeling that New Zealand and Australia will just bend over and allow South Africa to continue playing.
And
The
that is
Rugby
where the
Championship.
numbers are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably not financially viable to do it to try and kick them out and try and do it alone. But
I mean, if it becomes a much smaller competition, it becomes financially unviable to keep the All Blacks here, right? They would have to move.
yeah,
They would, because there's no way we could pay them that much money.
yeah, exactly. The All Blacks have got to be traveling around to get all the money that they get. They got to be
Yeah.
playing, these big teams and everything too. So
Yeah, well, we'll
Yeah.
see how it works out. Anyways, I guess I have to head. So
Okay, good. Well, in which case, I guess we say good night to Magic Miller and Wolsey.
and Washi,
And
and the
over to
remaining
Twitch as well.
people on the
who-
Twitch.
Who's left over in Twitch?
Wow, we've still
Yes.
got a bunch of people in Twitch.
Yeah, so I guess night.
Another
Another
shout
TV
out
viewer.
to
A 10, yeah. Commander Root, Discord for small streamers, like that guy. Purin Pie, Mr. Loki, Rogue Girl, Sad Girl, and Demon Monkey, Demon Kitty.
Yeah.
Right to you guys. Well, that's
Thank
more
you for your
maybe
time.
morning for those guys.
Yeah, thanks guys for staying up and listening.
So yeah.
Oh, I'll see you later.
See you next time.
Hey.